What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Movie Emporium's TV review of the new Netflix original anime, Dota Dragon's Blood. Now, of course, this is based off the very famous MOBA, which is Dota 2. Before we begin, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome, hit that like button, as well as commenting below on any video that you watch, including this one. Okay, everyone, just a word of warning. I have never played Dota 2 before in my life, so please don't vilify me for this review, just on that core concept. I know it's a very, very popular game, has millions of followers and millions of players, makes tons and tons of money. People got very, very rich off the game. And I know you control heroes or something like that, and you control land and area, and you have to, like, defeat other players. Like I said, I know it's very, very popular. It's from Valve, so it's a hugely successful game. And it's something that I never always felt intimidated by, so I never really got into it. I'm just not that type of player. But I do respect for the people who play it and make lots of money off of it, because I am extremely jealous that you're that good at this game. And so with that said, as we know, Dota, which is Defense of the Ancients, is a hugely popular series, has a lot of merchandise, has a lot of toys, Funko Pops, and all that stuff. And it's a series that was going to eventually have an anime or an animated series of some sort, because it's going to garner an audience. It's going to be pretty popular, and it's going to have an interesting kind of viewing experience for people like myself who don't watch a lot of anime. And it's just a shortcoming of my ability for film as a film reviewer. But this series is quite interesting because it's produced and it's produced and animated by Studio Mir, who's known for doing Scorpion's Revenge, the Mortal Kombat Legends animated movie, which was really popular. I have not seen it. I do want to see it because it's just, I love Scorpion, but it's just never been a movie that I've completely just, found the time to watch. Just the unfortunate nature. So with Dota Dragon's Blood, it's an 8-part series for season 1. And it deals with a character named Davian, who is this dragon warrior of some kind. And he goes and he lives out this land, and he is in the middle of fighting a dragon, and he is instilled with some kind of dragon magic of some sort. But he wakes up with like no recollection of what happened. He has no idea who he is. And he comes across this princess who is called Princess Marana. And she is I guess a sage or a mage or some sort. And she is very powerful. And basically what the series is entailing, from what I can gather, because it's a very complex series that doesn't need to be complex, they are trying to hold down this ancient evil, which is going to, of course, come and corrupt the entire world, which is a very tropey type series, type situation and whatnot. And then you come across, people like Braum and the Invoker. The Invoker, of course, is voiced by Troy Baker. Terrorblade's the ancient creature that they're trying to subside. And you have like Fimera and stuff like that. And you have all these characters. And on top of that, there's a group that's led by Selamine, who is under control of I want to say like an elf of some sort, a wood elf. And they are basically attacking the population of this, of this world. And it's in essence a story of individuals trying to keep an ancient evil from rising, and a group of people trying to rise that ancient evil. And it's a very stereotypical type of series. It has a lot of the same tropes as you know from these types of series. And so with that said, it's a series that I went in, like I said, not really knowing a whole lot about Dota, kind of interested because it was, like I said, given to me by Netflix to watch. Thank you, Netflix. And it's a series that, has some pedigree behind it, with Ashley Miller, who of course wrote X-Men First Class, who created this series. And it's got a great, voice cast, as I'm looking at, Troy Baker, JB Blanc, Josh Keaton, Yuri Lowenthal, who of course did the new Spider-Man game, Tony Todd, Kari, Wahlgren, Alix, Wilton, Regan. I mean, it has a great voice cast, and, it has a lot of potential. And so with that said, like I said, I'm not gonna 100% be hateful on the series, because I want to respect for the people who love the series. But when it comes to a series like this, I understand you want to be very in line with the fans, because they're very passionate people. But you look at something like Pacific Rim: The Black, which came out a couple weeks ago on Netflix, and that series really, even though it delves into fandom and the fan, excitement for Pacific Rim, it was still able to be watched by any individual. It still had the core concepts of Pacific Rim, but still made it easy enough for somebody like, let's say myself, who didn't know much about Pacific Rim, and made it much more an easy experience to watch and made it a fun experience. And so with that said, to have to go through as a reviewer standpoint, I have to be critical of what the series is doing on the simple fact of, yes, it's for hardcore fans, I get that, but if you're going to put this on a service like Netflix, not like something like Crunchyroll or something like that, or something of an anime sort, because it is created by Studio Mir, who is actually a South Korean animation company. You start to cause problems where people will be put off by the fact that it doesn't make a lot of sense in the series. If you don't know what's going on in the Dota world, you're not going to understand what's going on, and that is not the way you want to create a series. It doesn't make the series bad, and it really helps give the fans who are true hardcore fans something to really enjoy. And that's what I worry about with this series, especially if they're going to do a second season, which they probably will. Is it's just a very complicated, very not willing to settle and give you some information about this world Dota and the world, the characters and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure the characters in the show are not characters you see in the video game. I don't know. I was really kind of put off by the fact that I couldn't keep up with what was going on. There are points where they'll be doing something and then they'll completely jump to another area, and it's just like, did I miss something? Was there something about this story that I couldn't understand? Am I just completely I didn't know what was going on. It was really such a mess. And it's just on the simple fact of, the writers and creators were creating a series based off a video game, and they didn't know how to create it for the normal person that doesn't play Dota, I guess you could say. And that's a problem. It really is. It creates a series that makes it way more complicated than it needs to be. I mean, we're talking about a show that's about elves and mages and warriors and, dragons and stuff like that. And when you look at something like Lord of the Rings, they were able to find a way to make a series of movies, make it very digestible for the non-reading audience that have never read Lord of the Rings, and were able to make a film that was really good. Like I said, it's a show that has a lot of interesting ideas, and when you get to the end, it has some interesting, cool action sequences. Unlike a lot of series, Ashley Miller, who, like I said, who created the series, and the writers and producers and directors, I don't feel we're truly on board with creating this as something that the general audience could digest. It's more of just a hardcore fan series, and that's fine. But like I said, maybe put it on Crunchyroll or something like that. But Netflix bought the property to do an anime series, and this is what we got. So it's an unfortunate thing for what it is. I don't hate them for doing it. Maybe I won't watch the second season because it's just obviously not for me. And so what really takes the series down a notch, and it's not, on the level of the hardcore stuff, but actually might put off a lot of fans of Dota. Because if you ever watch Dota in its respect, if you ever take a look on YouTube or something like that, or Twitch, the game itself is gorgeous to look at. It's very beautiful. The aesthetics are very well drawn and they're very well animated. The characters have a lot of great movements and stuff like that. The way the world works is just, it's very beautiful. It's what Valve is known for, doing great visuals and stuff like that. And so you expect the animated series to have a lot of production value to really feel like the world that is Dota. And instead, this series, and this is my personal opinion, it looks like they were trying to go for a Ghostbusters or He-Man of the 80s style, because the character animations themselves, like the actual main characters, are awful to look at. They're not appeasing. Studio Mir, who actually, like I said, created Scorpion's Revenge, that's a very appeasing, at least from the trailers, that's a very appeasing movie to look at, sorry. But the animation here, you can tell, is extremely low budget. Like, the characters are not dimensional at all. There's no real difference between a lot of the characters. It looks like they use the same character animation for, like, let's say they have an army walking. Every character in the background is the same if they're not completely static. And what I mean by that is the background area is all static. So like, you'll have the main characters walking, and all of a sudden you'll see the background and none of the characters are moving. You can hear like some of the background noises and stuff like that, people drinking, but nobody's moving. The main characters are moving somewhat in very stilted, very awful looking way, but the background characters are completely still. There's like, it looks like they took the storyboards of the animated show, spruced it up a little bit to give it a little more color palette and maybe some flames of fire and stuff like that, and they just shot 24 frames of that and then digitally animated the main characters over it, and that's terrible. Like in 2021, you shouldn't be doing that. You should have at least some respect in your series. But I guess I learned that this is a very typical trope of a lot of companies that want to find a way to get a lot of production out pretty quickly, so they do it on the cheap, and this really feels cheap. It really, after watching, to be fairly honest, after watching Pacific Rim: The Black, which actually looked quite beautiful, this is like watching kindergartners do animation. It's so bad. And I don't begrudge anybody from Studio Mirror for taking on a project like this because it's money that they get in their pockets. But after Scorpion's Revenge, which actually looked kind of decent, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what Netflix paid them, but I hope season 2 does a better job with their animation, because it is awful. It's some of the worst animation I've seen in anything in quite a while. And yes, I don't watch a lot of anime, so I'm not used to this anime style, but it's pretty brutal. It really is. It's awful to look at. But like I said, the dragon animation, the dragon designs are actually quite good. But when it comes to character designs, when they repeat those same character designs, or like the elves look the same or the mages look the same, Davian has no real discerning differences in his look to any other normal person. I don't know, but at least the dragons look nice. I'll give it that. They look different and unique, but series is not good when it comes to animation, to be fairly honest. And like I said, if you're used to that kind of stuff, maybe you'll enjoy it, but I couldn't get on board with that. So with that said, I'll leave it at that. Overall, it's a series that is meant for hardcore fans. The hardcore fans are going to really love this series, especially if you like what the story is being presented. But if you're a casual viewer that doesn't know much about Dota or doesn't really watch a lot of anime, I would highly recommend you look at something like Pacific Rim: The Black, which is a lot more entertaining to look at, a lot more visually appealing, and it has a pretty decent story. But this series is not going to do it for you, so it's an unfortunate thing. I don't know what's going on here. I really don't. So, but yeah, that'll do it. That'll be my take on Dota Dragon's Blood. Thank you so much for watching. In the comments below, if you play Dota, or if you have played Dota, let me know how close to this sticks to the Dota universe. I heard Terrorblade is a character in the universe itself, but kind of let me know. Like I said, I haven't played, so go easy on me if you want. Anyways, let me know in the comments. But otherwise, if you like what you see on the channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you liked the video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, see you guys on the next video. Peace out.